you know, whoever is tanking is able to get in there and really kind of create some space for these guys as well. They dive really well together. I think that's a big reason why they've been so good in the past month or month and a half, 2 months, whatever it's been. So in a Koth type style map where you're going to be seeing those, you know, really kind of skirmishy fights, I don't know. Where's Baldo seems like they're going to be able to take this away, but I think it's a good move by Ace of Spades because they definitely shined on King of the Hill. Maybe this is their best shot here.
Potentially the case. We'll see if we head to a Ruins. That could make things interesting if we get to see the Widow v Widow. But it's going to be a Pharah v Pharah battle in the skies here as both teams come out with the same mirror compositions. We'll see who's able to control this one. Nero, of course, is a terrific player, but right away, it's going to be him getting the best of this one. No Valkyrie available, so they will have the numbers advantage on the side of Where's Baldo, looking fairly strong. As it looks like Huey's going to have to find a way to deal with Nero. Nero and Dalton both cleaning this one up.
Dalton is just a monster on the Tracer. In terms of, like, Tracer movement at this level of play, Dalton is in a league of his own. I mean, he's just kind of in a different tier, I would say, and just in terms of movement. So that kind of becomes a different level of threat, I guess. A big reason why that Tracer play from Dalton is so scary, because he's just so elusive. It's hard to take him down. And while we did see Tekka for a moment kind of almost having opportunity to kind of like one-clip him down, he still is able to get away and still find some kills after as well.
And of course, Dalton, we've talked about it before here, but he is kind of on another level in terms of Tracer playing AGs. Maybe Red Start would be the only other one to really be able to contest him in that area. I would be surprised if those two, I mean, weren't able to make it into like a contenders team over the next couple of seasons here. But a triple kill, as I'm talking, from Kraken Lacken, able to clean that one up. A great self-destruct, a clean sweep across the board as they still control the point, hitting up to 50%.
And that brings up another point in terms of just pure curiosity. I mean, what happens if Rockets Esports, who won the Open Division, and Where's Baldo wind up going up to Contenders League, or they wind up, you know, either becoming full teams, or some of these players go up? How would they kind of stack up against some of the guys who have been at that level for quite some time? I mean, there's a lot of insanely talented players who are going to be in the Contenders League next season as well.
Yeah, certainly should be at least a few of them that have come up of the from the AG ranks, but as Sound Barrier gets this one started, barrage from Nero as well. Hui with a great self-destruct, but of course it doesn't really amount to too much when you've got a Mercy in the area, so he took care of the threat here. It's maybe just a little too late, and now he is pounding those rockets into the base from Nero, making it really tough for them to actually find a way out of that one as they head up to 90%. One final opportunity. They don't have much to work with, only a Sound Barrier.
We have seen teams come a long way from this level. We can talk more about that in a second, but Sound Barrier coming out there. Dalton looking to make sure that he can shut down Ace of Spades, has him quite low, doesn't even need to go for the pulse bomb, throws it out there, not going to land a stick, which is unusual for him, but still finding these kills. They just need to get a couple more eliminations and they will secure this one.
The Valkyrie not making the difference for Dino. He brought up both the Winston and the Pharah, but it didn't seem to matter. Too much pressure coming out from the Pharah and Tracer combo. Nero gonna finish it off with the barrage. Immediately finds Derek in the air, man. Dino comes through with another resurrect, but I'm afraid it's just not enough as we're in overtime. It's gonna tick down in a moment's time. Both tanks, though, are back in the fight for the Savages, but they don't really have any damage. They do have longevity, though, as Ace of Spades going to go ahead and break out that Primal Rage, try to keep himself up as long as he can, but he's already so low here. Tracer, Lucio back into the mix. There is no hope of killing off Where's Baldo with the Sound Barrier coming through, their own Valkyrie from the Mercy Hurix, and that's going to be round one going to Where's Baldo.
100-0, and think about it in terms of what we saw in the last series. It was 100-0s on both maps of Lijiang Tower. Now here on Ilios, Where's Baldo doing the same thing to the Savages. So again, just showing you the disparity here so far. But here's Ruins, and this is where, like you said, things get a little interesting because, of course, we know that Nero likes to play a little bit of that Widow action. Now the question is, are we going to be seeing a Widow from the opposition? Do Savages want to pull that out, or are they going to instead try to shut it down? Right now they do have Derek on a Genji, which he has shown in the past, and he has been quite good on in the past as well. Will he be the one contesting the Widow? It looks like that will be the case.
Nero, always a fun one to watch, but he's probably a little disappointed he doesn't get to have that mirror matchup and look for the the one shot, one kill with the Widowmaker here. As Derek is kind of going to be in his face. We'll see if he's able to find anything interesting as Dino as well. Moving over to a Zenyatta pick, and of course the Sombra coming out from Where's Baldo. So a few change-ups, like we said, Ruins kind of caters to that change-up of style. As Panker, the first to drop, no mercy in the area. Excuse me, Moth is in the area. He brings it back up. As we'll see if they're able to continue with this pressure. It's now 2 for 2 here, Eggs. And the fact that Hui's now out of the mech, maybe an opportunity for Dalton to clean this one up.
I don't know. This is, again, going back and forth. Dalton with no HP going to be finally taken down by Tekka, and that's going to be Derek and Tekka able to secure this. Sombra peeling out, finally making it away, and the Savages do get control. And wow, what a fast takedown of Panker at the start of that fight. Yeah, he got back up, but man, they just jumped all over that man.
I mean, if you look at it, though, Where's Baldo? Pretty much, I mean, you've got that 1.5 support. I mean, you have it with the Sombra, kind of. EMP actually comes out well placed. They are in a rough spot. Ace of Spades not really able to keep himself alive. That defense matrix couldn't come out at the time from Hui. Now he's going to pop a self-destruct. Try to buy themselves a little bit of time. Takes the Sombra down with them. That's going to be big. They're sitting on a Dragon Blade as well. We'll see if Derek wants to unsheath this one, but I don't even think he needs to at the time here, especially now that Winston going to be back in the mix.
They're looking for some more picks here. If they can get one more pick, they might be able to create an advantage for themselves. He's looking for Dino in the back line, not going to be able to find it, and the Winston should be able to take him out. Moth trying to keep him alive, and will do that.
2 EMPs in the same fight, and they still barely come out on top. And it looks like Moth should be able to secure this one, as they will come through, but a lot of percentage built up there from the side of the Savages, now sitting at about 57% for their first take here. So already looking a lot better here on Ruins, looking to buy themselves a 3rd round if possible, and they're sitting on some pretty comfortable ultimates, namely Derek ready to go with that Dragon Blade, and he has a sound barrier at his back.
And we'll have to see if Panker can shut that down. Wants to be able to get aggressive in Derek's face, try to get some damage into him, try to force a deflect out to try to alleviate some of that pressure. There it is, going to be the Primal Rage coming out already. I'm not sure what's going to happen here at all.
Oh, the Dragon Blade able to find only Moth here. Not a whole lot of targets in this area, but Nero, he snipes him, gets the headshot for himself. Gonna buy themselves a little bit more time. Maybe an opportunity to pull this back. Now that Pulse Bomb sticks onto Ace of Spades. Gonna force out that Primal Rage and a Transcendence. Maybe not the best of communication, popping out both of those just for a Pulse Bomb here. Even so, it's Panker on the point now, along with Hakume. They're gonna have Moth back in the mix, who actually grabs Nero. Gonna give them numbers. EMP's out. He's gonna be able to find a headshot there. It's Nero coming through big for the team, along with Dalton here, and they're gonna maintain control.
And again, some of that health pack control is helping them out as well, as it allows them to have a little bit of an edge against the flankers, Tekka and Derek. They're not able to get those health packs, and then their tanks, you know, particularly Panker, are able to secure those health packs and make sure that they're maintaining some of that composure that we saw Savages really kind of having in the last series.
Let's talk about the uptime on these EMPs from Hakume. It has been incredible. 2 in a single fight here, X. What can they even do to stop this man right now?
Well, they could certainly start looking at him. That's one way to start it up. But he's already back up at 65%, and we're looking to see if he's going to be able to get back in there and do something for his team, who are already dwindling here. 3 men down. Oh, uh-oh. Did you see Hui DCing again?
Well, we'll see if they want to pause
right
it. All right, we'll pause it since the fight is over. Didn't want to pause it since it was actually cleaning up there, and it was going in their favor regardless. So, regardless here, they kind of overstepped their boundary, I think, from Where's Baldo. They had 2 people way out of position, no one really there to back them up, and the Savages, kind of as a collective unit, were able to come through and find a couple of kills for themselves. It sucks they lost Hui, it really does, but you know, they're going to take the point back. It's going to be about 98% or so. So a single team fight will do it for Where's Baldo, but Savages buying themselves some time, another opportunity to try to take this round.
And it's going to be a tough one, because obviously you can't lose anything here. They have a couple of options coming up pretty soon, so they're able to hold out in the next fight, or at least kind of draw this next fight out.
Can't stand the beat, man. We're going to let them cap this one. we had that
cap
before.
Up, and then give the pause. Ooh, so much nicer.
There we go.
So much
We
nicer.
had that before for like, what was it, like 5 minutes or something? It was a long time ago. It was unbearable. The beep. and they're okay with that one. So
All right, that
we'll
feels
see if
good.
Huey's able to get back into this hopefully soon.
So looking at this again, they want to kind of draw out this next fight as long as they possibly can, not only to kind of get Nero an opportunity to start generating some ult, start really kind of getting up there. They want to get everybody kind of online with what they need to get, Valkyrie available, that kind of stuff. On the other side of things, on top of that, they really kind of want to, allow that same amount of time to allow Dino and Owl to get their ults, and then try to prevent Derek from needing to use that blade himself. So both teams are going to look to try to kind of make this a little bit slower at first. We're going to see a little bit of aggression, probably around 75%, maybe 70% from Where's Baldo, because they may want to have a second opportunity. But still, with it at 57%, it becomes a little tough, because if they don't want to get aggressive right at the start, they're only going to have one opportunity, one real fight to try to turn this one back around. And given the fact that Owl is so close to barrier, they do have that blade available. Ace of Spades is going to be able to have that Primal Rage reset. And Dino is at 60%. I don't know if it's going to favor them if they try to make this take a little bit longer. So maybe whereas Baldo might want to try to get aggressive, just dive in really, really hard at first. Maybe see if they can pull the blade out. If they can, great, go in, have everything available for that last fight, and then flip it, take this round a little bit closer than what we expected, but it's still going to be close either way.
Huey is back into the mix now, going to grab that Diva right back up for him, get back into this fight. Thankfully for him, whereas Baldo aren't really close to making a push, still coming off a respawn, so it will be a full reset for Huey, of course, but not really too much to worry about other than that EMP about to come up from Hakume. That could be an issue, especially if Derek isn't able to unsheath the blade. We'll see what he's able to do with this one. Hakume ready to go with this, looking to make his move into the fight. Nero, of course, made a change to the Genji as well. Right away, though, Dino is in such a bad position. He's swept down there by Nero. Maybe Derek can actually pull this back with the Dragon Blade here as they pick up a couple for themselves, and that pickoff onto Stormbra is going to be big for these guys. Ace of Spades pushing them all back off the point, and they will maintain control here, and they might actually take the round. They might be able to contest this one. Nero trying his best to get onto this one. It's actually the Tracer here from Dalton contesting here, but they're going to be in a bad spot. They do have Moss ultimate ready to go. He's going to be bring two of them back up into this one here. We'll see if Huey can continue to clutch this out for his team.
Wow, that was incredible. The ability to take down Dino twice is the only reason that they are still in this one. Blade comes out there from Nero. They did exactly what I said at the beginning, just kind of play so, look for an opportunity to dive in. They found Dino immediately, took him out, relieved themselves of the worry of trying to deal with that Transcendence, take him out again on that second time in, making sure that Dalton can stay alive long enough to contest. Really, really smart play from Where's Baldo, and again, another reason among many others why these guys are at the top of this tier.
That was unbelievable. In such a bad position, Dalton is able to contest that one. And of course, Nero opening up the fight originally with that kill onto Dino is pretty big. So they're actually able to secure both rounds here. It's the second one, quite a bit closer, of course, 199 there. But that means things could get interesting here on Nepal. Same game mode, of course. What are you thinking? Maybe they force us to a game number 3 potentially here.
I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm gonna stick to. They did not look bad. I think to a much larger degree, it was mostly that Where's Baldo wasn't looking like what we're used to. Nero, who is usually just an absolute robot on the Widowmaker, just wasn't really finding that same pick potential, just wasn't as insane as we are used to seeing him with that pick. I mean, obviously with the Savages, with their very, very hard flank type strat where you're going to be seeing them often trying to err on the side of Tracer Genji, it becomes a little bit more difficult to find those picks. And given the fact that Derek wasn't actually on the Pharah in that last map, it just takes away from the ability of Nero to actually find those kills. Now, here's another opportunity for him to kind of make an impact. And the last time we saw him on this map, we did see Nero actually pull that Widow out, and it was quite strong. It did kind of deny a lot of areas from this particular map here on Sanctum, where he sits up on that back pedestal, not up on the high ground that you would typically see a soldier sitting over here, but actually on this back pedestal here, where he can actually deny that high ground by having some picks into the backline where the supports normally would sit. So playing on that high ground might be a little bit of a mistake, but they are playing that Junkrat here, so you would more than likely see them actually doing that anyways. So maybe if Nero can find a kill onto Dino early, this might be a huge opportunity for his Widow to really kind of make a bold statement at the beginning of this match.
Kraken lacking over to the Roadhog here, so they're going to change things up and put Nero on a Widowmaker. This should be interesting. We'll see how he fares, knowing that he's going to have to kind of deal with some of that threat of Derek potentially with the bombs, and potentially have to get past that Reinhardt shield. This should be an interesting match, maybe an opportunity for the Savages to find something with that Junkrat pressure.
Again, just looking for either the Junkrat or the Mercy here. Basically anything you can find, but certainly prioritizing those 2 kills if at all possible. And look at this aggression already coming out. The fact that they have denied him a lot of these sightlines already means that they really have a lot of work to get behind to try to equalize this pressure, and still not finding those 2 kills that he really kind of wants to look for.
I really feel like all of Where's Baldo kind of on the same page here, knowing that Panker was taken out early, didn't really have much of the pressure from Dalton to alleviate that himself, got res back up, and that allowed for the rest of the Savages to push onto that front line that wasn't even on the point here, and they take the first points here once again, looking pretty strong in doing so.
So now Vision goes over to Nero as he pops the infra sight, looking for Tekka here. Going to miss that shot as Tekka pulls back just to get his Mercy back in play. Going to have that extra little damage boost as well. And here we're going to be seeing Dalton try to come alive. He's in the backline. Can he find a little bit of pressure onto this Soldier Mercy? Looking for the Mercy for sure.
It's Winston Panker again diving into the back. Does he have enough pressure from Dalton to keep himself alive? It looks like no! He's going to go down. It's Tekka who turns all of his focus onto him, pops a tactical visor on the point as well. Of course, he was brought back up into this one here, but the fact that Moth is out of the fight is not good. Maybe an opportunity for Nero to clean this up. He is sniping these guys down left and right, but I just don't think it looks good for him right now. There's no one really on the point to contest. Panker able to make Tekka take a dive off the map, but he's all alone. It's not going to amount to too much. And they're sitting at 50% with ease.
Yeah, I think that Nero really shouldn't have started this out on Widow. I mean, the last map, we already saw that they were able to deny those sight lines. We already know that they are good enough to not allow that Widowmaker to work the same way that you would like it to. So maybe stop playing that unless you know for a fact that it's going to be a good pick, maybe on something like Anubis or something to start things off. But now that he's on the Genji, I think they have a much better shot here.
Riptire's out. Derek expected Panker to be around him. He's going to dive into the back again. This time, Hirix, he's not going to be... No, he is going to be taken down immediately. 3 fights in a row. He's the first to fall, first to be rezzed up, though. Moth did have Valkyrie available, so they will be sitting good in terms of resurrects, but I just don't think they have enough pressure. As I say, it's Dalton. He needs to come through clutch along with Nero, who, of course, made the change to the Genji. Already 80% towards the Dragon Blade. Transcendence keeping him nice and healthy on the point as well, Hirix. Do they have enough damage to secure the fight is the real question against the sound barrier.
Well, the Riptire coming out, and that's not going to find a kill, but it will find a lot of damage. Can Nero finish the job as he actually goes through? Tekka turned around, found the incredible damage from that tac visor, and now Derek looking to kind of mop things up.
They do make the flip mid-fight, so there still is some contest here coming out from the Savages, but I'm not really sure if it's going to be enough. Maybe an opportunity. Dalton connects onto Dino with a pulse bomb, and I think that might secure it. They have so many people on the point, or near the point, I should say, as they make a dive onto this one. Panker forced to pop the Primal Rage as he nearly falls into the pit here. He's going to clean this one up. A nice charge back onto this from Ace of Spades, but it's only delaying the inevitable loss of the fight. Still an opportunity for them to pull this back, though it will take a couple of team fights.
Again, just kind of a rocky start behind that Widow pick that was just kind of denied. It wasn't necessarily a fault of Nero's, but rather kind of just really, really good play from the Savages. Now he's going to go over to this Soldier pick, which I think he probably should have been on to begin with, but they wanted to at least establish some kind of hold on the point before he goes over to this. So now he's going to be looking to try to shut down this Riptire. They don't actually get the kill. They kill off Panker.
Panker
after the res.
4 times in a row. He gets taken down, then gets taken down again. It just doesn't feel like he's on the same page, or maybe that it can't be intentional by any means. I mean, he's been going down left and right, Hirix. They're going to bring Ace of Spades back into this one as they make the point flip. Need to get on the point, contest this one, as it looks like they're going to have a sound barrier helping them out from Aula as well, Hirix. They are cleaning this up with ease. Tactical Visor is out from Tekka. That should be round secured. Nobody's on the point to contest. And round number 1 of Nepal going over to the Savages. Going to keep things very interesting here.
Well, I think the problem is multifaceted, and I think there's one thing that kind of hangs above all others as a kind of overarching issue when it comes to Panker's survivability is the fact that, first of all, he's playing against a composition that is so heavily, you know, kind of burst oriented. You have a lot of damage that can come out. I mean, yes, there's a lot of sustained pressure coming out from the Junkrat as well as the Soldier, but yes, they also have the Helix Rocket. They still have the Concussion Mine. You can push Panker around. You can force him out of his position that he would like to be in. Kraken Lacken, if he's not right on top of Panker, a lot of that pressure is just going right into his face, and if he ever gets trapped, then he's completely dead. I mean, they're just focusing a lot of the pressure onto this man here, and Kraken Lacken just isn't really in the best position to try to, you know, do anything about it because the damage is mostly AoE based. So it becomes difficult. I don't think it's necessarily Panker's fault, but it is something they need to kind of consider when they go on that map again.
Really looking for Nero and Dalton to figure something out big time here, and along with Panker not getting killed off immediately in the start of the fight. It's not a good look losing your Winston, forcing out an early res like at the start of the fight when that could be used later, of course. But again, here they lose Nero, they lose Moth early on. That's going to be Moth moving over to Lucio.
We do see same exact composition here, so it's going to be completely head-to-head mirror. Nero now looking for an opportunity to put some damage down, actually landing some great shots onto Ace of Spades for the time being, getting him down low, forcing him back so he can't be aggressive at the moment. Now it's going to be a little fight in the air between Nero and Derek. He's going to be pulling out of that one. Again, we do see Ace of Spades going forward, aggressive as ever.
And Panker again gets stuck with the pulse bomb. Not much you can really do about that. Looking to be a little aggressive off this one. Maybe an opportunity now. With Dino out of the fight, he had Valkyrie ready to go. If he's able to get back into this one, even if they start losing here, he's going to have a few resurrects available to use. But it looks like the Savages are starting to lose out on a few members. Primal Rage popped out as well from Panker. He's on the point. They're contesting this one. I don't really think they have an opportunity to come back into this. Maybe an opportunity for Derek and the Tracer to get something done, but it doesn't seem to be the case. They're still sitting at 55%. They're going to try to contest this as long as they can, Bjorks. Now that they have the Mercy Valkyrie available and they've got the Primal Rage out, maybe an opportunity to pull this one back.
Yeah, they're finding kills now. 3 on the board for these guys as Kraken Lacken tries to turn it around, but look at the health for Where's Baldo. Dalton already forced out of this one just to try to get a health pack. He's going to come back in, but I don't know if he's going to be able to deal with the fact that there's a Mercy supporting everybody else that is alive for these guys. Pulse Bomb goes out, but finds nothing. He needs to take these guys out himself, and that is not going to happen here. 80% on the board here. Where's Baldo? Not looking anywhere close to as good as what we saw on Ilios.
Where is he, man? They can't seem to find him because
where is he, man?
90% right now. They are not looking good whatsoever. Still an opportunity here with Nero's Barrage. He needs to find something big. They're going to open up with the sound barrier. Doesn't quite connect onto everybody from either side as Owls not really getting a whole lot of people right now, but the fact that Ace of Spades forced out that Resurrect. Good opportunity now with Dino out of the fight as well. Pulse Bomb not quite able to stick there from the side of Tekka. Hui might have an opportunity to bring this back, but still a Barrage readily available for Nero. Need to make sure they contest this point at all times, and with the Diva out of the mech, it looks like, oh no, so much of that Barrage is gobbled up by the Defense Matrix. Great positioning overall from Hui, able to keep their hopes of winning this fight alive. It's just Lucio, it's just Dalton. We've seen big things from Dalton in the past. Is it enough? Pulse Bomb able to kill off Hui, but no, he's brought back right into the fight. Kjorg's gonna make it pretty much, I believe, a 3-on-4 in this one, giving the advantage to the Savages, who are still holding on as reinforcements come in.
And the longer this fight goes on, the more I think the Savages have a really good shot of taking it. I mean, yeah, we do see some ults coming online from both sides, but it's going to be tough because Where's Baldo are forced to stay on the point here. It looks like they are looking to clean this up, and they are going to be able to pull this out more than likely. Dalton somehow managing to last on the point long enough to get his team back in there. So coming back, again, another opportunity with 99% on the board. They're finally showing themselves on the scoreboard here. They weren't able to do. They weren't able to finish on Sanctum, but I don't know, man.
I think he just popped Valkyrie at the end of the fight by accident.
Oh no, he's probably saying I have Q ready and then clicked it.
Yeah, I mean, I heard the noise and he's at 7%.
Oh, what a stick!
And Dalton gonna force out that Resurrect early on. Remember, Dino coming up on Valkyrie. It's really big that Hakume doesn't have that available now. Sound Barrier out, gonna connect onto everybody here. It's gonna come through as well from the side of Owl, so keeping them nice and healthy as Panker, again, the first to fall. Brought back up into this one. Self-destructs are out from both sides. Neither of them really connecting onto much here, but Ace of Spades has a tool at his disposal. He has that Primal Rage to keep their hopes of winning this fight alive. We'll see if he's going to drop it in this next one. Going to go ahead and pop that one just with a sliver of HP. It's so back and forth here, but in the end, it looks like Where's Baldo have the numbers.
Yeah, on top of that, they also found the Mercy kill, and I think that's probably the biggest thing that they could have possibly done to not only find that kill, but at 60% denying any extra ult charge after that Valkyrie came out from Dino. That's going to be big because Hakume, after a little bit of a slip up, moments ago, is sitting now at 80%. So they're going to have that extra res ability of being able to not only get 2 instant reses, but also having that third one on a very, very, very short cooldown coming out of that ult as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing if they're going to be able to hold this one out because they have that advantage in the Mercy department.
And it's big that Dino didn't actually have to use it in the last fight, but Tekka gonna grab Kraken, Lacken, more than likely force that Resurrect. No, it's Hakume. No, he's taken down here because they don't have him to heal him up. 3 people, 2 people left now on the point. This was going so well for Where's Baldo to make the comeback here, but I just don't think Dalton can take on 5 members here. He should be able to contest this one as Kraken Lacken now back in the fight here because they've got reinforcements coming in. Dalton doing his best to scurry around the point. Self-destruct is out here. Does he find anything? He finds Nero. Sound Barrier comes out as well again from Owl. Hakume has Valkyrie to use, able to bring Kraken Lacken back into the fight. Primal Rage as well from Panker. It would be a miracle for them to come back into this one and pull it around here. They've got a Sound Barrier. He drops the beat. He hits everybody but Nero, who is now coming back into the fight here. Pulse Bomb doesn't quite connect
wow.
there. Oh, Dalton finds Tekka. Hakume brings Kraken back into the fight somehow, Yerks. They are doing the unthinkable. They've got a Primal Rage from the side of the Savages, but Ace of Spades not going to hold on for too much longer. Doesn't have any healing. Dino comes into the fight, immediately dropped by the barrage. They make the flip. Yerks, they've done it somehow, some way. Tekka not able to contest. And round number 2 to Where's Baldo.
Oh my god, Dalton! This man was all over their supports and just training down onto Dino, then looking immediately for Owl is exactly why they were able to stay in that one, because it's absolutely ridiculous that they were able to win that. And again, just because of the fact that their supports were under so much pressure from Dalton in particular. Yeah, Panker and Kraken Lacken were certainly helping out quite a bit. We did see Nero and Matha involved as well, but for the most part, it was Dalton just ripping them to shreds, taking them down, forcing them to be a little defensive, starting to get out of their position, and then that allowed the rest of the team to kind of come down and try to help out with those kills. Dalton finishing the job on both occasions. So really, really good stuff to be able to turn that around just by focusing down those supports and having the mental fortitude to just hang on and stay composed and make sure that you're able to secure those 2 eliminations that are just so important.
The Savages, everything on the line right now. They must take this round to force it to a game 3. Otherwise, we'll be crowning Where's Baldo as the victors once again. But Hurix, they're off to a hot start for the 3rd round in a row. Actually, 4th round in a row. It dates back to Ilios, man. They were looking pretty good to get things started. It's all been about comebacks now for this side of Where's Baldo. We're going to need to find something now as they get swiped off the board once again. Points going over to the Savages.
And I think I think a lot of that can be given over to not only Dino, but also to Hui as well. Obviously, with him on Diva, it really helps out Ace of Spades when he goes in and gets aggressive to be able to have that relief of just the defense matrix, knowing when to peel Dalton off, knowing when to, peel that damage off is a huge help to Ace of Spades for sure.
Derek drops. They're going to force out the Resurrect. Barrage up top from the side of Nero. Doesn't quite connect. Still, it's going to come through from Derek. A lot of it is going to be into that defense matrix as he does come through with the DMEC in the end here. And they are going to maintain control. No one really around to be able to contest this other than Nero. But he's going to be forced back off this 40% and now counting for the Savages. Not looking good for Where's Baldo. We might be headed to Dorado here. But again, comebacks seem to be the nature here for Baldo.
Now I kind of feel like an ass for saying that we wouldn't see game 3 because, I already felt like one before, but now the fact that I'm just dead wrong and an ass, that feels bad.
Maybe. We'll see if they're able to pull this one back. Self-destruct out from Hui. Does he grab any kills? No, not going to be the case. Sound barrier from Owl. Able to hit everybody this time around. It's going to come out from the other end. Panker doesn't quite get hit with this. He's in the primal rage. Grabs a health pack. Going to be okay for the time here, but still, pretty back and forth fight. Numbers are going to be in favor of Where's Baldo, and they need to get on the point, need to find something. Pulse bomb's out there. Tekka doesn't connect, but Derek pulls around with 2 for himself. Hurix resurrect forced out. Actually, it's going to be the Valkyrie coming out from the Mercy Hakume, and they will clean this one up at 80+% right now. Not looking good, but an opportunity nonetheless.
They were able to secure it on the last one, but man, that really came down to a nail biter for sure. Now here, the name of the game, in my opinion, is just focusing down Dino as often as you possibly can. Find that kill early, take him out. Nero doing a great job, a great example of that, taking him out of the sky completely. Now it's just extra time off the clock. Not only that, but you're also eliminating that threat of a res if they do wind up pushing in, which they won't. So just try to focus down that Mercy as often as you can. It's going to happen a lot from Dalton's perspective, and it's really kind of his job to make sure that that Mercy is always under fire.
Needs to shine here right now. Nero with the barrage available. We'll see what he's able to make of this one, as it doesn't look like... Oh, he gets Dino, but he's going to be dropped in the end. Oh, man, Dalton picks up a double onto both tanks and shuts down their hopes of grabbing that fight in an instant, Hurix. Again, good opener from Nero, eliminating that Mercy right away.
So now Dino getting close to that Valkyrie percentage right now at 87, 88%. Going up with Derek pretty soon. He's going to have a barrage of his own. Owl getting close, as well as Moth to that sound barrier respectively for both teams. That's going to have a profound effect in the next one, but Nero already forcing that res out. That's going to be the Valkyrie coming out as well. Can they find another kill onto Derek here?
Not sure about that Valkyrie so early from Dino, because they really haven't lost anybody right now. Owl comes off this one. Is he going to get back into this? We'll see, as Hakume loses his life right now. They were nearing that sound barrier from the Lucio, 80%. Regardless, Owl comes back into this one. Sound barrier comes out from Moth, able to connect onto most of the players. Is going to come out from Owl as well, as they're looking to push this into overtime here. But the Savages, they've got the point advantage. They've got the positioning. They should be able to force them off of this one and force it down to one final engagement.
Just another great reason why you need to focus down Dino. I mean, he went Valkyrie, so obviously he's going to be a little bit too tough to take down due to that free flight, but also because of that free flight, he was able to just completely murder Hakume out of the sky. Now we're going to be seeing Hakume ready to have his Valkyrie, but that's not going to be in time, and Savages wind up taking that one 2-1. So now 1-1 going into Game 3 here, Storm. Something that I said probably wouldn't happen is indeed happening here, and what a play by Dino actually to make sure that that actually did occur.
Play the game, going on to Hakume here. Coming up big for these guys on the Mercy, but unfortunately not enough, and we're going to be headed to Dorado to settle the score and see who will be crowned as the champions tonight. And Hurix, we are heading to a Game 3, but honestly, we're heading to a different mode, and I think that Where's Baldo? I mean, I still got to put it in their hands here tonight, because, you know, we've seen them play for the last couple of months here, and they have been pretty much unstoppable by most teams. Maybe the Savages can, you know, try for something here, but I'm putting my money here on Where's Baldo.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, I'm certainly feeling like Where's Baldo has the advantage, but Savages, like we were talking about, you know, coming away from that semifinal, that they might be a team that can put on a show here, and boy, are they ever. They really are doing quite a good job. Dino, Hui, both really, really good performances so far. From those guys, especially Ace of Spades, really doing a good job in the front line, creating space as well for Tekka when he does actually go over to a hit scan with Derek as well as a potential hit scan. So really, they are quite versatile. They are quite good in their respective roles. So far with the Mercy play, it seems like that's been a huge benefit to the Savages so far, as Dino has been insane with his reses, making sure that they stay composed, and we talked about that as well in the semifinal, especially in Lijiang Tower. But now going over to Dorado, a map that we already saw the Savages look quite good on for that first point defense. The attack was a little rocky, I would say, but they still got it done. So I don't know. I mean, I think that the Savages have a pretty good shot to make this one interesting, while I still do think and agree with you that Where's Baldo will come out ahead on this one.
They will be on defense to get things started. The Savages in the semifinals here. It took them into overtime for the second and third checkpoint to secure the map, getting all 3 of those checkpoints here. But on defense, they actually held them shy of grabbing any progress whatsoever here. But of course, another beast stands in their path, and where's Baldo? And I'm kind of worried about Dorado in particular for them because of the fact that they really struggled against WBC Sky to actually secure all 3 checkpoints. They didn't look terrific in doing so here. So there was a lot of contesting, to be honest here. And Nero over to the Soldier 76. We'll see if he's able to find a way to deal with the Pharah.
I think it's good that they actually wound up picking this up because, you know, Derek is often going to pick that Pharah going into this map, but we will see if they're able to contest it. I mean, was it Zoom, I think, from Sky? It looked really good defending against Derek with that soldier, so I think this is a great opportunity for them to show it. Now Panker on the Winston, not going to have that Lucio backup, but instead going to have the Zenyatta. So they're going to have a lot of damage potential. Should be able to deal with Derek here, especially with that Diva in play as well. Ooh, man. Almost ripped him out of the sky there.
And we'll see what they're able to make of this. All cards on the table for both teams trying to secure the tournament right here, right now, as already Derek taking a bit of pressure from the Soldier 76. But Panker, excuse me, is the first to fall. And Curix, that was such an issue on Ilios. Hopefully he doesn't, you know, hopefully it doesn't happen again for his own sake, but they are cleaning this one up. Kraken is out of the mech now, kind of opening up from sight for the Pharah, and they're looking pretty good in doing so.
Well, they're putting everything into making sure that they can burst down Panker at the start, and he gets rezzed up, and he just finds 2 kills immediately. He comes back, and he's able to get healed up enough to stay alive in this fight. He's pulling back now. Can he stay alive? I'm not sure. He does finally get the healing from Moth as he comes back, so might be able to hang on to this one as they're going to be able to get aggressive once again. Dalton finding that first pick onto that frontline tank. That's a big opportunity here.
But the pulse bomb from Tekka comes through. I was going to say it was a pretty strong defense in terms of where they were with the archway. You know, taking a minute off the clock, but Tekka totally turns that one around as they were looking to, again, contest the payload. But that first checkpoint, not quite going to be secured. Dalton will look to contest this one. They do have 76 now coming in with the tactical visor. Looking for a 6-on-6 if they can get in the area. Now, it's going to be, no, it's going to be Hui coming through, finds him with his own rockets immediately as they're going to bring Panker back in the mix. They do have that Hakume Transcendence at the payload, but Hui again coming through, clutch with a double kill, and then finds a mech onto Kraken Lacken, and they secure themselves that first checkpoint with so much time to work with here for the second phase of the map.
Tekka now going forward alongside Ace of Spades and Hui as well. I mean, they're just going to go forward, the whole team, just to try to pressure these guys out, focus them so that they can get as much progress on that payload as possible, maybe find some ult charge as well if they can. Dino going to be taken out there by Dalton as they're going to surge forward, and the pulse bomb flying off the side as Tekka finds nothing with that one.
Playing very aggressive right now to make sure they can get a little bit of distance covered with that payload, buy themselves a little bit more time, but they're going to pull back into this one. They're going to make it a game here, and I'm honestly thinking that they've got a little bit of momentum going into this year because they've got a couple of ultimates nearing that tactical visor as well. We'll see what Hui can do against him in particular to contest that high ground along with Ace of Spades.
Now we're going to be seeing both of these Mercies hanging on to that Valkyrie, so going to have that available to both teams. Dalton now going forward, gets the pulse bomb, lands it onto Dino, actually getting the stick. I think it was actually onto that Diva. Dino was just, you know, collateral damage on that one.
100% was onto Hui. He actually chunked him down in the mech, and it was Kraken Lacken coming through with the follow-up. So a couple of ultimates, and namely ones that really aren't even that important in terms of, you know, a Diva self-destruct would probably rather have a tactical visor for the next fight as well, right, Curix? And Dalton already back to 50% on the pulse bomb, so they clean it up with 2 ultimates that we'll see what sort of an impact they're able to make without them in the next fight, namely that tactical visor and the Valkyrie ready to go. Nero looking to do some damage. Barrage up top from Derek, not able to connect. It's Nero midair with the Helix rockets, and they're going to be forced to pull off of this once again. 3 minutes remaining.
And we do see that pulse bomb ready to go as well. Ooh, not a great one there from Dalton at all, but they're still demeching here. They will find a late kill onto Hui, who is going to probably work his way off the map. Dalton not going to be taking advantage. Oh, he will indeed take advantage of that here. And they're going to find a super late kill onto Hui, it looks like. Unless he can stay alive. Is he going to stay alive here?
Well, that will buy him a little bit of time, and it looks like he is going to keep himself kind of healthy. No, Panker is in the back. He's looking for him. I'm surprised he didn't actually go for it.
He just gave him the ult charge and
mix.
then left.
Yeah, that was a little odd play. Regardless, they're going to move in off of this. York still sitting on a Valkyrie. Primal Rage popped out from Panker in the backline, trying to, create some havoc back there. Actually connects on the Ace of Spades, giving them the numbers once again. Dalton with the follow-through. They're not going to need to pop anything else right now here, and they're going to go into the next fight looking pretty good in terms of ultimates.
Well, there's a familiar sight. Hui out of mech, unfortunately, at the end of the fight. Late kill. They're now down to 155 on their time bank, and even still, a lot of options available here for the defense. Nero, in particular, having that availability of the tactical visor here. Derek did pull off of that that air threat of the Pharah, so now he's onto the soldier himself as well. But do they have enough time to make an impact with that change?
The only time they don't contest the high ground is when Nero is going to go ahead and pop out the tactical visor. As I say that, they come up, a self-destruct well placed from Hui. It's going to come out from Kraken Lacken as well. He's going to find one for himself, Yerks, and they're looking pretty strong here on the side of the offense. Maybe an opportunity with this Primal Rage to pull through. No, Hakume going to pop the Transcendence, keep his team nice and healthy right now, but with Derek back in the mix, that's going to be Resurrect, not ready to go from the Mercy. They need to find a kill onto him. Again, Nero not contested on the high ground. Finally, it's going to be Ace of Spades looking for Moth. He comes through with the kill here, and now they find an opportunity to push to the second checkpoint, and looking pretty good in doing so. But of course, they don't have that spawn advantage, so maybe an opportunity for Where's Baldo to come through with a big comeback. But no, a double kill onto the tanks. Tekka cleaning it up. They still have to find Dalton, who funks through with another pulse bomb here. They've done it somehow, some way. They clean it up and they make a stand.
And Hakume hang on as well, untouched in the backline until finally Derek came off of respawn. But 30 seconds left here. Storm, they're going to have one more shot. And on top of that, they have Tac Visor and Sound Barrier both, while Hakume, who did just use his Transcendence in that last fight, is still going to need a little bit of time to try to, prevent some of that pressure that's going to come out immediately when these guys get aggressive in the next couple of seconds here.
And it really sucks that Nero popped his tactical visor in the last fight here, because he thought he would need it. He didn't know that Dalton would be the playmaker there with the pulse bomb, but the fact that Dino is out of the fight so early is going to be big now that we hit overtime. It's Derek up top. He forces a Primal Rage out. Moth brings Hakume into the fight, who's nearing that Transcendence right now. They've got the numbers advantage, of course, now that Moth is trying to make his way back into this one, nearing a Valkyrie, but he's way in the back. Moth is taken down. That's a little unfortunate for themselves, as they're going to move this cart a little bit by bit. It's Ace of Spades. He's the lone survivor. He's going to be taken down. Nero comes in. Dino, comes in, grabs Owl here. It doesn't matter. They're going to take the hold here, just shy of that second checkpoint, and look pretty good in doing so, and holding off about 5 minutes there.
Such a great stop, but Dino taken down at the very beginning of that fight is exactly what spelled defeat for them. And that's a tough loss to have to deal with when you're going into your last fight, especially when he's got Valkyrie up like that. And, given the fact that the other team has a Mercy ready to go, they can easily turn the tides of a battle, especially if it takes a while, and that one did indeed. So here now they're going to have to really kind of turn the heaters on for sure in their first point hold if they want to take off enough time to really kind of feel confident about a second point hold if it gets to that point. We did see against WBC Sky their first point hold was quite strong. They were able to stop them there and really have, to a great effect, I mean, an impressive performance by Hui especially. But is he going to be able to pop off to that same degree? I think it's a little bit. It would be insane to see him do that twice. Not just that he's a great player, obviously, but that kind of pop-off just does not happen that often, where a guy is sitting at, 9 HP or something like that, and is still able to find 3 kills before finally, some pressure is thrown at him, and he's still able to get his heal off, so he's able to find another one. So, I mean, Hui kind of saved them, I would say, but they also still had a good first defense. But is it going to be solid enough? Is it going to be strong enough to be able to contest Where's Baldo, a team again on another level in comparison to WBC Sky?
Everything here on the line for the side of the Savages. They need to make a stand before that second checkpoint. Otherwise, it's going to be Where's Baldo finding I believe their fourth tournament in a row here, something like that. But final reminder, guys, I just put !Matcherino in the Twitch chat. Hit up that link, hit up that coupon code. Final opportunity to donate to the prize pool tonight, courtesy of Matcherino and Haste. But we're underway here. Derek and Tekka knowing that there will be an aerial threat of Nero. We'll see what they make of this one. Maybe they force him back. It looks like right away they're going to force him back. Dalton trying to provide some of that backline pressure.
Well, he avoids the flashbang, but does not avoid the bullet to the dome, as he's forced to recall back and get on out of there. He eludes death, but not going to find any pressure for himself. Flashbang going out again. He's going to dodge that one. Panker finding an instant kill onto Dino. That's huge.
Finding that opening kill onto the Mercy. Can't stress enough how big that is here for the Winston player in particular. Panker, who, again, earlier on in this set, really struggled with dying in the first fight, or every single fight, he was the first person to die. And again, they clean this one up. Doesn't look like the comp quite working out for him, and now they're going to be making some changes. They're going to move it back to something a little bit more familiar as that first checkpoint is secured in record time here for these guys. 5:23 on the board here. How do you even stop these guys right now? They've got a lot of momentum. Dalton doing a lot of work as well, ready to go with this full squad.
I think on top of that, you're also looking at, Dino, who has been incredibly solid for them, just kind of taken under fire so far. They've really kind of jumped at that Mercy as often as they possibly can. Derek with a nice shutdown of Nero here, and they might be able to make a pretty solid stop here at the beginning of this second stage of the map.
They're not going to use that Resurrect onto Owl. They know it's a short spawn. They know that payload hasn't really moved too far right now. They're going to go ahead and pop his self-destruct. Oh, Kraken Lacken finds two for himself. Dino was picked off just before that. Had Valkyrie available here. But again, not going to be able to make the difference here and bring those tanks back into the fight. As they secure this one, where's Baldo? Pulling it back in their favor. And with where the payload currently is at here, it could come down to one final fight.
Very well could. 4.5 minutes is a lot of time to work with for Baldo too, so they can kind of take their time with this if they really kind of want to. Start learning the defense, start getting ready to dismantle it in one fell swoop, and we're going to be seeing Panker going up already. Has the help of Kraken Lacken. Really good defense matrix there from him to deter a lot of that pressure, and look at this. He's already right up in the face of that soldier who's trying to find some kills and doesn't look like he will.
Derek had his tactical visor out there, but it was contested quite heavily by the D.Va and Winston, and the fact that Hakume is going to be dropped out of this fight might close this one down, but they know they have a lot of time here, so there's no reason for them not to really push into this. Maybe force out some ultimates like that Valkyrie, in particular from Dino. We see these guys come back into the fight here, but I think they're pretty happy getting Valkyrie out of the way. They're going to pull back and know they have the advantage moving into the next fight.
They didn't really lose a lot of people there either, and while they did go down an ultimate, they are still able to pull out of this one. I think maybe 2 ultimates, actually, maybe even 3. I'm not sure if Dalton actually used his, but either way, those will be back rather quickly, other than Moths. So they should be able to come away with this with another opportunity to kind of freely go in without having to worry about that Valkyrie.
Visor out from Nero. He connects onto 2 out-of-position DPS players from the side of the Savages. Going to give them a massive advantage into this next fight. They should be able to make it back in time before the payload hits the checkpoint here, but they are going to be struggling in terms of numbers on the payload. Now that Dino's out of this one, it's not looking good for these guys whatsoever. Hui, the last hope of staying on the payload right now. Tekka and Derek are back into the fight, but they are not looking too good right now. Tekka trying to pull this one back. Pulse bomb able to stick Moth, but of course he's just going to be brought back up into the fight just like that here with the Resurrect. And now an opportunity, I think, for the Savage to pull this back. I don't think Where's Baldo killed him off quickly enough. As I say that, though, it's a Transcendence coming out from the side of Al, trying to keep him alive. Derek has a tactical visor up top here. Can he pull through? Can he find the kills? He's going to be shut down.
Panker is an absolute monster. Completely just zoned out that Transcendence from the fight, and in doing so was able to make sure that they secured the kill onto Ace of Spades. Yeah, Dino pulled him back up, but it forced that Resurrect to come out, and now they're going to be able to secure this fight. It seems 1 meter to go, and that's going to be that. Where's Baldo? And a much closer fight than what we had initially expected, taking the series 2-1.
Tremendous performance to the Savages.
Absolutely.
Gotta put it out there. Of course, GG's to Where's Baldo taking the tournament for the 3rd or 4th consecutive week. Can't quite recall. It's been so many for these guys and Rockets Esports, but gotta hand it to the Savages, man. Taking a map off these guys, forcing it to a game 3 and looking terrific in doing so. All of these guys definitely have to be proud about that. Given that Where's Baldo is, in our tier of Overwatch, in the open tier of Overwatch, they're at the top along with Rockets Esports.
Oh, yeah.
So gotta feel pretty comfortable about that heading into that finals there. But that will be it for us tonight, guys. Got a few things to clean up here. As always, a